It's easy to adapt a video game like The Last of Us with its minimal UI and maximal cutscenes. The Resident Evil show got around the game elements by just setting its story in-universe. But how do you properly adapt an unrealistic, game-ass video game without just fully abandoning the game mechanics? Fallout found a way. And yes, there will be spoilers in this video essay. There are some Fallout mechanics that I did not expect to see, but in the flow of an episode they made a lot of sense. Like VATS. In the games, this mechanic lets you freeze time and choose a specific body target. I didn't really think the show would even try to tackle this mechanic because it's all UI. It would just slow down any action scene. But when I saw this moment, it made sense. Bullet time in games is already adapted from movie visual effects. Every game that uses it is just trying to capture the high of the Matrix. But impressively, this feels like a reference to a very specific trait/perk in the Fallout universe. Bloody mess! Which gives you a damage boost and aerosolizes your enemies into a fine mist. It's probably my favorite perk. And speaking of perks, shout out to the cannibal perk that the ghoul definitely has. Other mechanics are essential to making a game playable, but they can rob a show of its stakes. Stimpaks are your basic game heal items, and in an FPS, you gotta have a ton to keep up with all the bullets. But for a show, how do you make violence a real threat when a character close to death can just be saved with the right hot prune juice injection? The show establishes early that stimpaks exist and can heal you. Lucy takes a tender knife to the gut and continues to fight after she stims herself. And she does it all in this super cute 1950s gown, which, personally speaking, is the iconic Fallout experience. But more importantly, after the battle, you see Lucy having to staple her wound close. This clarifies what stimpaks can do, stabilize an emergency boost, and what they can't do, fully heal or close up wounds like they do in the games. Establishing these parameters is crucial for people who are new to Fallout and for longtime diehard fans like me. It's like laying down the rules of how magic works in your fantasy world so that you can build a story on those basics. Then later in the show, when we see a concoction that can super heal, it's clear that this is an anomaly. Everybody in-universe knows what stimpaks can do, and the show uses that to its advantage, like in the confrontation between Knight Titus and Maximus.
I'm asking you for a stimpak and you're looking at me. You're looking at me like you don't know what the fuck to do.
Titus isn't worried about the fact that he is dying, because he knows he's just one quick jab from good health. But he should have been worried. Knight Titus, more like Knight Hubris. Both fans and detractors of Fallout like to point out the franchise's reliance on skeleton-based environmental storytelling. Environmental storytelling doesn't really exist in TV shows the way it does in games. It doesn't really need to, or it sort of does, but you would call it like set design. Yet here we are, with a loving homage to Fallout's corpse-laden history. It's a great preview of the more dire skeleton-based montage that Norm and Chet experience later, which of course captures the experience of unearthing the secrets of a fresh vault. The show also has more nebulous moments that hardly seem like they're referencing game mechanics at all, unless you've played a lot of Fallout games like I have. There are scenes where I can almost see the dialogue UI pop up with that special check at the end. The pacing of these conversations and the way the arguments are stacked really captures the feeling of playing a charisma build determined to talk their way out of combat. It's a testament to the writing and acting that these arguments convince the characters and also convince me, the audience, without feeling like some invisible game dice rolled and they just magically succeeded. Or magically failed. In any Fallout game, you can draw a straight line from your position to the main objective location, but walking that line is a different matter. Which the show nods to in episode 3, when the ghoul says the golden rule of the wasteland is,
"Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time."
It works in context, but it's also so pointedly about open world games and Fallout in particular that it felt like Walter Goggins had personally vatsed me through the TV screen. And like the ghoul in the show, when you're playing Fallout, you're going to have to explore to find meds, food, ammo. These are the reward to the risk of exploration. The show has some nods to the starvation, dehydration, and radiation mechanics, but the real scarcity that acts as a driving force is power. It's working on a literal level at several moments. Maximus's power armor is rendered useless without a fusion core, so is it worth robbing a whole community to get it functioning?
You really want to give them their fusion core back if it means you don't get your dad?
If my dad found out that I destroyed an entire community to save him, that'd break his heart.
But it's also working metaphorically. Who has the power to exert their will on the wasteland? Factions are such an essential part of the Fallout experience, whether you side with one group, all of them, or truly embrace your title as the Lone Wanderer. The thesis of the show is that everybody has their own ideas about how to save the world.
Everyone wants to save the world, they just agree on how.
And if that ain't real, ooh boy. Vault-Tec, the Raiders, the Brotherhood. Each group is trying to gather power through time, through energy, through technology, so that they can make up the world to their ideals. Only the deserving should survive. Power belongs to everyone. Big suits stomp loud, make earth shake. And the show asks of its characters over and over again, what are you willing to sacrifice to participate? Will you change your community? Or will your community change you?
Maybe you can stop them. Maybe you can't. Maybe all you can do is try.
For me, the Fallout show does the best thing an adaptation can do. And that's not faithfully adapt or dramatically change the source material. It's to pull out the core themes so that watching it deepens my understanding and appreciation of the original object. The show does such a great job of pulling back and giving you such an overhead perspective of all of these groups and all of their fighting. And that's easy to lose when you're on the ground, shooting ghouls and hanging out with your dog. Overall, I'd say the only inaccurate thing about the show is that when Dogmeat was badly injured, the whole episode didn't reset to an earlier save point. Thank you for watching this essay, and a special thank you to Alice, Common Opponent, Danielle and Cord Welch, Zachary Elliott, and Johnny Guitar. I'm tickled pink that you support me. Okay, and this isn't really mechanics based, but this one shot of de-aged Kyle MacLachlan looks so Bethesdan to me, and I can't tell if it's just the de-aging effect, which I still find very uncanny and upsetting, or if it's a choice to frame him and have him be uncanny like a Bethesda dialogue situation. Am I going crazy? Anyway, support video essays like this by going to patreon.com/thejenna and signing up. You can join for free, or you can join at a specific tier to unlock special videos and updates. Because you're mine, I walk the line.